Made a lot of people upset, a lot of Islam fans upset. But really what I was trying to do is I was trying to translate for Nate.
You know what I'm saying? Title fight.
He's talking about with Islam. He's saying that he's a little new in the sport still.
He's got a lot of work to do before.
But he has a big future. You got a big.
In the world of MMA, words can hit just as hard as punches, and recently, Jon Jones found himself in hot water not for anything he did inside the octagon, but for what he said outside of it. After making a few Jon Jones lightweight champion, Islam Makhachev, Jones drew criticism from both MMA fans and the Muslim community. Jon Jones to clarify what he really meant, and he's not alone. Jon Jones, never one to shy away from a mick, weighed in as well.
You know what I'm saying? Title fight.
He's talking about with Islam. He's saying that he's a little new in the sport still.
He's got a lot of work to do before.
But he has a big future. You got a big future.
Big future, but I think that same Habib career not long.
Yeah, not very long.
And just start the pressure just to make the fight start. So it's done a lot. You kept on keeping on, and I still are. Well, how's this even argument?
The longer you're on top, the more time your opponents get to study your footage. People fixate on fighting you instead of the next opponent.
And it's starting.
Yeah, it gets harder and harder when you're figuring out as we get older.
And then they're yelling at you, and you're like, you really started than me.
Jon Jones appeared in a podcast-style discussion alongside Nate Diaz. The two UFC icons were chopping it up, talking about the state of MMA, top fighters, and how the game has evolved, inevitably. The Jon Jones Islam Makhachev, the Dagestani fighter who has taken the UFC lightweight division by storm and cemented himself as one of the pound-for-pound greats. Jon
Comment that I made a lot of people upset, a lot of Islam fans upset. But really what I was trying to do is I was trying to translate for Nate to the Russians. Nate speaks in a very laid-back way. He speaks with a lot of slang, and if you're not American, it may be hard to understand what he was saying. So I was really just trying to translate for
Jones right off the bat. He praised Makhachev's precision, calmness under pressure, and elite-level grappling. He even called Islam one of the most skilled athletes in the UFC right now. Almost immediately, social media exploded with responses. MMA fans especially, those from Dagestan and the global Muslim community, felt that Jones was downplaying Makhachev's accomplishments. After all, Islam is not some rookie. He's been in the UFC since 2015.
That Islam is an up-and-coming fighter. When it's coming from me, I can say that. Not many people can say that.
Boasts a 14-fight win streak and has defended his title multiple times against elite competition like Charles Oliveira and Alexander Volkanovski. Some fans accused Jones of being dismissive. Others claimed he was threatened by Islam's rising popularity, and a few even labeled his comments as arrogant or condescending. Let me make something clear. I have nothing but respect for Islam Makhachev. I've been following his career closely. He's elite, there's no question about that. When I said he's new to the sport, I didn't mean he's inexperienced, I meant he's new to the global spotlight. The type of attention that comes with being one of the faces of the UFC. There's a learning curve to handling that. Trust me, I've lived it. Jones explained that he wasn't questioning Islam's skill, discipline, or dominance. Instead,
Islam Makhachev is a better version of Bilal. I think his striking on the feet is I think it's easier than Bilal because he'll stay in one stance. He's more traditional style. But yeah, he's the pound for pound #1. So it's a tough fight. But I guess we'll just watch all his fights again, make a solid game plan, and then just start working at it. From pretty much now, I'm going to start working on ways to beat him, different ways to get back to my feet, stuff in the takedown. But I'm pretty confident.
he was pointing out the difference between being a dominant fighter and being the center of the MMA universe, with all the pressure, media obligations, and cultural expectations that come with it. Islam's a bad dude, no doubt. The guy can fight, he's got good hands, good ground game, and he stays composed. But every fight's a test, and the more you win, the more...
Yep. Will you pick Volk's brain?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely plan. After the last 2 fights, I've spent a bit of time in Wollongong. So yeah, I think probably the first stop, we go to Wollongong, talk to Volk, see what he reckons.
People expect you to be perfect. You mess up once, and they're on your neck. Diaz emphasized that Islam is on the right path, but still has room to grow, as does every fighter. Even champions, whether fans agreed with Jones or not, his comments sparked a broader conversation in the MMA world about legacy, perception, and what it really means to be a dominant fighter in the modern era. Jon Jones
went up not out of courage. Islam did not go up out of adding hardware to put on his mantle. He went up with one condition, which is I don't have to fight Belal Muhammad. Now, he can sit around and say, I could beat Belal, and I wouldn't go up and beat Belal because I can beat Belal. The bottom line is you entered a division openly that you said you wouldn't face one of the top guys. That's not a sign of courage. That's a sign of cowardice. I don't love the idea. You have an undefeated. Make sure you understand what happened. I know this is your friend, DC. I think of Islam as my friend too. But let's think of what happened. You have an undefeated, #1 ranked world champion who's chasing you down. He is willing to leave his division behind. He's willing to walk away from his belt to chase you down. You are so interested in getting away from this guy that you not only leave your belt, you leave your division, and the whole thing is only contingent that you don't have to fight Islam. Not for nothing. This is not the way champions conduct.
Arguably the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, knows a thing or two about that. He's faced constant scrutiny throughout his career, both for his incredible accomplishments and his controversial moments outside the cage. His perspective comes from having lived under the spotlight since his early 20s. Islam Makhachev, meanwhile, is carving out his own legacy under the tutelage of Khabib Nurmagomedov and the entire Dagestani fight culture.
I disagree with my boy Chael. I love Chael, and we have a lot of fun on our show. But you can't call someone or say they have that type of behavior when they're doing that. And they've defended the belt multiple times. They fought people on short notice. They fought people coming up in weight class. They've done just about everything they can to show that they're willing to lay it on the line. We always talk about step on the line, step on the line, step on the line, steps on the line every single time. This is the first time that Islam has honestly put his wishes above what everybody else wants. Because when everybody else wanted him to fight Volk, he didn't. When everybody was looking for him to fight Armand, and Armand couldn't, well, fight this guy who's number 5, Moicano. Dangerous, no training camp. He did it on a day's notice. He's always done it. So to say that it wasn't a great move in that regard,
he's built a career on excellence, humility, and pressure-proof performance. Now that Jon Jones has clarified his words, it's evident he wasn't trying to slight Islam Makhachev. Instead, he was offering insight into what it takes to not just become a champion, but to stay *1 in an era where every move is magnified by millions of fans worldwide. And that's a pressure Islam is now starting to feel. Every title defense, every interview, every media day.
I agree with Chael. He had been having his eyes on 170.
I'm not gonna leave this sport without second belt.
There isn't something new that Makhachev was talking about. And how about the fact that people constantly call you Islam, they called me, or anyone that cuts weight bullets. What about now that he's going up and he's gonna fight in a weight class that most of you say is more suited for his size? Well, he's so good only because he cuts so much weight. He weighs that much, he should do well against those people that are much smaller than him. How about now?
Every call out, it's all part of the territory. Jones and Diaz may have different ways of expressing themselves, but both seem to agree on one key message. Islam Makhachev is a phenomenal fighter. But greatness isn't just about skill, it's about longevity, adaptability, and mental endurance. At the end of the day, this wasn't a beef, it wasn't a diss track. It was one champion reflecting on the journey of another. Jon Jones gave Islam Makhachev his flowers just in a way that raised eyebrows. But once the full context was laid out, it became clear, there's no hate here. Just experience speaking.
It is a great fight. Della Maddalena surprised me in his fight with Belal Muhammad. Like, he just showed that he's much better than people gave him credit for. He's so well-rounded, so skilled. Makhachev, though, bigger, will have an ability to not be cutting all the weight. He'll be more full. He'll be more, like, fresh. I'm interested. I think that it'll come down to the wrestling of Islam versus Jack's takedown defense and how stingy is he going to be able to be with Islam? Because when Islam can take guys down early, they really struggle. The only time a fight even looks competitive is when they can defend takedowns and he spends large amounts of time on his feet, which he does really well.
Truth, whether you agree with Jones or not, one thing is undeniable: Islam Makhachev has already earned his place in UFC history. And if he continues on this path, we might one day be talking about him the way we talk about Jones now. So to the fans who were quick to judge, maybe take a second look. And to Islam.
Islam's choice to move up and face Jack Della Maddalena is because he thinks it's an easier fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's an easy fight, but it's easier than facing you or Topuria.
Look, I don't see it that way. I see the weight cut as the reason. I saw this a couple of times already. I've been at the same event as him and seen his weight cut. It's brutal, you know? At weigh-ins on Friday, I saw how drained he was. Many people said he was struggling to make weight. I think it's because he wants to be in better fight shape, you know? And to cut weight better, he decided to move up. I think he'll be a handful in this division. He will be much stronger. He's improving a lot on his feet, and his ground game is incredibly strong, so that will be a great. He's facing a tough guy who hits the body hard and moves well.
In the world of MMA, words can hit just as hard as punches, and recently, Jon Jones found himself in hot water not for anything he did inside the octagon, but for what he said outside of it. After making a few Jon Jones lightweight champion, Islam Makhachev, Jones drew criticism from both MMA fans and the Muslim community. Jon Jones to clarify what he really meant, and he's not alone. Jon Jones, never one to shy away from a mic, weighed in as well. Jon Jones appeared in a podcast-style discussion alongside Nate Diaz.